SEC quarterback rooms ranked 1 through 14. We'll start with the bottom, though, work our way up, and we'll be quick with some of these. Vanderbilt, 14th, Mike Wright, Ken Seals. Although, I think Mike Wright has a chance to bug some people. He looked competent athletically last year. I understand why they're ranked 14th. They belong 14th. But he looks like he's capable.
This is the best we can do for him. He's not terrible.
Yeah.
I think I would take that if you're Vanderbilt.
I think I would take him over Brady Cook, who's probably going to start at Missouri at 13.
I don't know if he's going to start or not. I think Jack Abraham can win that job.
Ooh. They didn't mention him in this write-up, but that doesn't mean he doesn't exist there.
He's somebody to watch there. I mean, that's a lot. He's got a lot of experience. I don't think he would have beaten out Will Rogers, but he would have definitely made it a very interesting competition with him. Just keep an eye on that.
Auburn at 12, Zach Calzada, the Bama killer and A&M killer last year. Is at Auburn. TJ Finley, a name you know, and Robbie Ashford, the Oregon transfer. So 3 transfers vying for that job on the Plains.
And not a one of them really good.
No. You just don't feel great about that list. This one also you don't feel great about. LSU, Miles Brennan. Daniels, the Arizona State transfer. And Nussmeier, who I feel as though is a distant third in this competition.
Keep an eye on the 5-star freshman Walker Howard there. Just keep an eye on it.
That's a Brian Kelly guy.
Yeah. Remember, they danced.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Daniels is just okay at best. Brennan can't stay healthy, the poor guy. He just can't. And then Nussmeier, I didn't see anything out of him that made me, turn my head. So.
And the dance floor really
that's
creates some chemistry.
Legends are made.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So LSU at 11, Texas A&M at number 10, Haynes King, Max Johnson, Connor Weigman, possibly going to start the young quarterback. Store?
This is why I can't take Texas A&M preseason hype seriously. If I ask the question, who's your quarterback, and you say, I don't know, I can't take you seriously.
Number 9, Ole Miss. And I actually had an Ole Miss fan friend text me about this and say that it's way too low. My counter is, have these guys played meaningful snaps in an Ole Miss uniform? You've got about a half of football, a little more than a half, out of Luke Altmaier. And
you got 5 games
Jackson
against
Dart.
weak competition, against Jackson Dart. So this was the ranking that really showed me that Athlon's was really ranking these guys by what they've done and not what they can become. I think the ceiling is very high for Ole Miss here, right? I think Dart is a really high-risk, high-reward kind of guy. I feel like he's either going to be really, really good, or y'all are going to be wondering, why did we take this kid? I think there's no middle ground for Jackson Dart. Altmaier has middle ground. Altmaier, I think, is a guy who you kind of know what you're going to get. So there's a lot of potential there, but they haven't shown you anything. Hence, number 9.
Yeah. Number 8, Florida, Anthony Richardson, and still one of the more bizarre transfers of the offseason. Ohio State's Jack Miller is also in that quarterback room.
Decided to go down there rather than be the backup in Columbus. If you're going to be a backup, better to be in the sunshine than the snow.
Yeah, I guess. He could have started somewhere and just chose to not start at Florida. Number 7, Kentucky, the only name that matters, Will Levis. Some people think he's good enough to be a first-round pick. I haven't seen that yet, but people think that in Kentucky, number 7, because of it.
Which is funny. This is supposed to be QB rooms.
Yeah, and they only mentioned Will Levis.
They only mentioned Levis, yeah.
The ceiling is the roof, as our text line says. Good point. Yeah, that is
true.
Shout out Michael Jordan. Georgia.
SEC legend Michael Jordan.
Yeah, soon to be, possibly, anyway. Georgia, number 6, Stetson Bennett, the incumbent starter, who most people think is not going to start for long, to make way for Carson Beck or Brock Vandegrift there in Athens. Georgia fans are clamoring. I know this blows Richard's mind, but there's a lot of talent in that room, and it's not the starter. In a crazy, twisted way, the talent doesn't lie with the starter, who won a national championship.
This is going to be so fun for a second year in a row to watch Georgia fans clamor to get rid of a guy who just continues to win football games.
Yeah, he's not going to lose a game, and they're still going to want somebody else to start.
Where were y'all in 2018 when you could have gotten Justin Fields in there?
Yeah, seriously. Number 5, South Carolina. They only mentioned Athlon again. Only mentioned Spencer Rattler, and that's really the only person worth mentioning in that quarterback.
If you look at, and I did. We hit this topic on Thunder and Lightning yesterday. The guy behind him, Luke Doty, was a really highly recruited guy. High four-star guy. I think he was the number 4 dual threat in the country his senior year of high school. So, from a recruiting profile standpoint, they got a good guy there.
Number 4, Mississippi State, Will Rogers. They didn't mention Sawyer Robertson, but I think he's got to be mentioned when you're talking about rooms. You've got an experienced guy paired with a blue chipper that you haven't seen yet, but has the recruiting pedigree.
I mean, you got, like I said, Will Rogers, great stats last year. Robertson and Braden Locke, both 4-star high school players. So,
now, do you think it's appropriate? Do you think being ahead of South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky is appropriate, and behind, spoiler alert, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas is appropriate?
I would have stayed ahead of. I would have shuffled the top. Obviously, Bama's 1. I would have had Arkansas 2, State 3, Tennessee 4. Because again, with all of these guys, once you get past the starter, State's 2 4-star guys better than Joe Milton. I've seen what Joe Milton can do, and it's nothing. So he's not a great backup for Hendon Hooker. And then I like Hornsby as a guy you've seen for Arkansas. He is a change of pace guy. They're not bringing him in for passing situations. He's sort of the comment I made. He's Jefferson's the bulldozer and Hornsby's the Lamborghini. But you at least have seen him play. Yeah. So I would have Arkansas 2nd.
Arkansas is 3rd. Jefferson, Malik Hornsby, those 2 guys in the room. I'm a big Hendon Hooker homer. I think that he is.
I like him.
Going to put up numbers and yards and be electric, and Tennessee's going to be fun. They're still going to lose a handful of games, but he himself is going to be a guy that you're going to want to watch every Saturday. But to your point, this is rooms, not one player, so them being at 2 is interesting, right. Plus the $7.5 million quarterback not on campus yet.
Yeah. I don't like Joe Milton at all. That guy is just not a good college quarterback. He just isn't.
It's an indictment on Josh Heupel, who I think is a good coach, to have started him over Hooker to begin the season.
You could probably have another. You probably would have had another win on the schedule if you. I mean, that game
Pittsburgh
against Pitt was a shootout. Yeah, you probably beat him with Hendon Hooker.
So, and Alabama number 1, obviously Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner, going to win the national championship. So.